So, what we want to start with is we want to draw a circle for the head of Godzilla right here. We're just going to be drawing a circle like this. So that's going to be the size of the head of Godzilla. And now, what we want to do is we want to have his upper jaw be kind of angled a little bit towards the upper right corner of the paper, and then over here will be the head of MechaGodzilla somewhere, just about the right, this is the same size, but because MechaGodzilla is standing at a elevated area, he looks like he's taller, but he isn't. Well, he is a little bit taller than Godzilla actually. So yeah, I'll have to put my laptop a little bit closer to be able to see the reference a little bit better. Let's see. So yeah, it just goes like this. And then he has a like an upper jaw like this. And then his head goes like that. And then his lower jaw is about a little bit thinner than his upper jaw. It goes all the way back till there, I guess, and I think the upper jaw is a little bit too pointy, so we'll have to adjust it a little bit. Alright, so that's gonna be the basic shape for Godzilla's head. So now, what we want to do, we want to draw in his neck, which goes at an angle down like this. And then his back will be over here and his tail will be there. But we cannot see everything because he is standing in between a lot of buildings, and those buildings sort of block our view of seeing Godzilla. So we have a muscle right here and a muscle right there. And this is about all you can see from Godzilla. So we would wanna, well, let's say his eye would be about right there. But we will go back on that later on. So we have, I'm sorry, that's my dog. Alright, sorry, I'm back. So he has like two very big spiny, scaly spines, I would say, like this. And well, actually it's a lot lower. Let's get my eraser out. So his spike is about, well, let's get his body, the shape for his body a little bit more refined, because this is going to be his shoulder area, which is very big, and this spike is just above his shoulder. So we can see a very big spike like that right there, and then another one right behind it, and then a couple more coming in between them. And then it just sort of goes like that. And we cannot see everything, so we're not going to be drawing in everything. Alright, so now we want to have the position for his arms. So one arm is going to go like this. He has very big and heavy arms. just like MechaGodzilla, but MechaGodzilla has like square and rectangular shaped arms. So we have one arm right here, which we cannot really see the hand of, and then one arm that goes like this. Let's say it goes a little bit further out like this, and it just goes like this, and we can barely see a hand right here, which I will be drawing in. So his thumb is on the inside of the hand, so we will have a thumb about right over here. And then we will have like his fingers that we can see. Maybe one more right there. Alright, so that's all we can see of Godzilla. Okay, so now we would like to have MechaGodzilla in place. So it is gonna be something like this. Well, let's first not focus on MechaGodzilla yet. Let's focus on the buildings before we're gonna draw in MechaGodzilla. So what I do with this particular drawing, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw a couple of buildings at the foreground, but they are very dark in shadow because of the fact that the beam is very bright and stuff, and because of the brightness being on this side of the building, the other side of the building will have a lot of shadow on it. So we have another building over here, a smaller one over there, then we have something standing on top of this building over here. We have a gap between two buildings. This building is a little bit higher up, and it goes something like this. And then there's another building going like this, which is just a little bit below this one. And on top of this building we have another sort of small something. Let's make this building a little bit longer, like that. But over here there is like a very high tower kind of thing. This has a roof which is a little bit hard to draw. Something like that. But then it also has a section that goes like that. And we're not going to be drawing too much detail in all of these buildings. We will just be drawing the all the buildings that are like the shapes of the buildings that are right over here. So then there's a very long building, and it's about over there, and this is the area for where the beam, well, let's make this building a little bit shorter actually, because the beam will be about over here. Maybe I made MechaGodzilla a little bit too close to the beam. But in the movie, MechaGodzilla actually starts to do the atomic breath a little bit later than Godzilla, kind of to counter it, I guess. We have a couple of shapes like this. And there's another. Well, let's just go with the... Alright. Yeah, so let's just go with a building that looks like this over here. So it's at the same height as over here, and then there's a separation area, and then we have a tower on top of it, and a little section on top of that one, and another little section on top of this one, and then on top is sort of an antenna, something that's sort of like this. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just literally, this is all just decoration, I would say. I am really bad at drawing backgrounds, and this is a great example of doing bad at drawing backgrounds, I guess. And we'll stop right here because we still have to get MechaGodzilla in. So, for MechaGodzilla, what we want to draw is we want to draw the top of the head, which is sort of goes like this, and we want to have it the same length as the snout of Godzilla, so about till there. Then we want to go back like this. We want to have a area that's a little bit higher than the rest, and then it just sort of goes like this. So this is the top of the upper jaw, or the top of the head of MechaGodzilla. And then on top of his nose he has like two little things that look like that. And then for his eye, it's just a circle right there. But then there is some parts going like this around his eye, and that creates a lot of lines and everything over here. Let's make his upper jaw a little bit thinner. So then he has two outsticking things right there. I'm really not sure if you can see it very well, because I'm trying to experiment with the camera and what it can do and stuff, but we'll just have to see. So then for his lower jaw, it goes like this. And it's just shaped like that. And then well, he has a couple of armored things in his neck, I guess. But the most important thing is that we managed to get the head of MechaGodzilla and Godzilla in. So that's the most important part. And I'm sorry if my camera is shaking a little bit. Not sure what that looks like on the actual video, but yeah, we'll have to see. Alright, so now we have to put in the shape of MechaGodzilla, which will be sort of shaped like this, the back at least. And we can see quite a lot of MechaGodzilla spikes. I'm not even exaggerating how many. There's literally like 15 of them or something. But then his belly sort of looks like this. It goes like this, and then there's a building right here which sort of obstructs our view of the rest of MechaGodzilla. But we do see a couple of things. Let's see. So yeah, his arm is basically, there's a plate over here that's shaped like this. And then attached to this is his arm going back until over there. And then this area is rounded out a little. And then over here there is a sort of a circular thing. Connects his upper arm to his lower arm. And then his lower arm goes like this and sort of disappears behind the building. And we can still see parts of it, I guess. But I made it a little bit. No, I angled it out a little bit wrong, so it's angled a little bit more like this. And then we can see sort of one finger over there disappearing. And yeah, but that's basically where one arm goes. And then we can see one leg sort of going straight into this building. Not really see too much of it, but that's basically all that we can see for now. So now MechaGodzilla has two plates in his neck, like right there, and on those plates he has two of those spiny, or not sure what to call them actually. He has two of those on each side, and then his neck sort of goes into a plate sort of change up a little bit, and in between every plate there's something like this, and it just goes on for the rest of the length of a MechaGodzilla. He has he has three of those metal-y things in his neck or his throat, and then there are a couple of bumps there as well. So it is starting to look pretty cool. I'm just making this as square as I can get it for now. Alright, and we can also see the other arm, which is sort of going like this. And then over here would be this area. And you shouldn't be able to see the hand thingies on or the fingers on his hand, but because I sort of messed it up a little bit, wait, I can still fix this. So let's make this building a little bit wider. It's supposed to be wider on the right side than it is on the left, so that's fine. So something like that. And then we can see, oh, well, actually it is angled a little bit differently. So it is angled in such a way that this rounded elbow thing is right there. That's where the elbow is. Alright, so it's looking good. I'm sorry for me keeping doing that. And then on his back he has just those metal plates going on throughout the whole length, but he also has these plates that stick out a little bit more in between them. But at some point you shouldn't be able to see too many of them because his arm should be in front of it. But yeah, I'm not perfect, I make mistakes, and that's actually the reason why you can still see it. And then we just draw in those spikes. like so. And once we are, well, let's get the shape of it a little bit different, because I believe, let's see, yeah, he has, so yeah, it appears to be that he has on his neck he has 2 rows, but on his back he has a couple more. He has 3 rows, so we can still see these ones coming out. And we want to have the right pattern, the right shape. Let's say we want to have an arched shape. Like so. And then they just get smaller and smaller as it disappears behind the buildings. Like that. So this should be fine for now. And I guess that it is time that we should erase everything and go over it a little bit more, well, make it stand out a little bit more and make the lines a little bit more precise. So yeah, I'll be back. Alright, so I am back, and it is time to do some more finer work. So I wanna say that I switched to a different pencil. This is a 0.5 millimeter, well, let's say tip mechanical pencil, which is a little bit finer than the one that I just used. So the lines will be a little bit darker and a little bit cleaner with this one. So let's start on the left, and I want to start with drawing. I want to start with drawing Godzilla's head in, like so. And of course, maybe a couple of teeth. His lower jaw as well. Let's get in, give him just a couple of teeth, just for the cosmetic purpose. And because of the light that I'm using, it's very hard for me to see my own pencil lines right now, because the light is reflecting on the graphite straight into my eyes. So it's very hard to actually see what's happening. But we are also going to add some more additional details that we didn't put in yet. Let's first get the very big blades on his back in. Like so. It just disappears behind that building. And let's also, because this isn't correct, the way that his hand is supposed to be covered behind the building. So let's get in a couple more of the buildings like this, and we can barely see his hand, but we can see part of it right there. And let's get this building in as well. Alright, and maybe a couple of more buildings behind it, just for, again, cosmetic purposes. Doesn't really matter too much. So his eye is actually just below his snout, and you just go up like that, and then you create something like an eyebrow, make him look angrier. And over here we don't really see too much detail because this part is basically pretty dark because of the shadows and stuff. But let's get another row of his plates in because it doesn't quite look good enough. Alright, this looks a little bit more accurate. So what we want to do is we want to pay attention to where are the lights and where are the shadows. So the light source is basically this beam, this atomic breath. So what I'm gonna do, by the way, first is I'm gonna create the effect of the beams clashing with each other. Something like this. That should be fine for now. And then Godzilla's breath is sort of something like this, but it has a lot of little changes of the shape changes a little bit over time, or when you follow the length of the beam, I guess. And this is, by the way, this is supposed to be a little bit bigger, so let's make it just a tiny little bit bigger, like that. Alright, so we can draw a little bit of texture inside of this beam, because it will add for the later, the view later on. And let's get in some, let's give him some gills as well, which will go almost all the way to his throat. They are pretty much completely highlighted, and this is also pretty much completely highlighted. So let's not draw in too much of a shadow. Let's just keep it simple for now. But on his back there is a lot of shadow going on actually, so I'm just gonna be drawing that in quickly. Just gonna be drawing his arm in, and this building is covering his hand. And I'm just changing up the picture just a tiny little bit, just so that it fits my my drawing a little bit better. Elbow right there. You should be able to just draw along with me. And over here it's starting to get a little bit darker. It's starting to get a little bit more shadow being casted from his limbs and stuff. There's literally a fly in my room. They just... well, I'm not gonna catch it now. Let's hope he doesn't fly. He just keeps coming back. Just a sec. Okay, I'm back. I couldn't catch it, so he might be flying into the camera shot a little bit more often. Try to do my best to catch it next time. So yeah, so let's get back into the drawing. So the roof was shaped more like this, there is actually a reflection on top of that roof. We cannot see yet because it's just a reflection of color. So yeah, then there is a building right here. It goes like this. And it is... let's say it stops about right there. Goes down. And this building goes up. Then we have this strange tower again. We can actually see the outline of every time it gets higher up a little bit, I guess. And then this building over here sort of helps to hide his foot or his leg partially. Alright, so let's focus a little bit better on Godzilla. So this area is very, there's gonna be a lot of actual highlights, which will be in blue, by the way, so I will be using a colored pencil, a couple of colored pencils to help and give it a little bit more color, because of the atomic breaths that we can see. I mean, like, they have to be colored in, right? Otherwise they just won't look good enough. Let's see. We can see one finger right there. So yeah, that's all we can see. So on the underside of his arms, there's going to be shadow because of the fact that the atomic breath is right there. So it casts a shadow on the underside. Like that. And it's doing the same for this one. But this arm actually casts a shadow onto the rest of his body. That you can see about right there. And then this part of his body will be very dark. There's a couple of scales that look like that, which cast a shadow on the on the other side. And then over here we just have a couple more highlights, but not too many. This will be just fine, and then everything will be darkened. Something like this. And then this part of his plate will also be very dark. I have no idea what the reason is, but that's what it looks like on my reference photo. And this one as well. Just draw a couple of lines like this coming from his neck, like that, and a little bit of detail over here just by drawing some wrinkles on his shoulder going into his arm. And then the outside of each plate will also have to be darkened. Like this. It should look something like this. Okay, so now his head is very dark. So we are just gonna darken most of his head, especially the top of his head, top of his snout. And as you come closer to the beam, it gets lighter. And we can see a little bit of detail on his arms. But not too much, just a tiny little bit. And that's gonna be all, I guess. Alright. So that's looking good. Now it's time to go to MechaGodzilla. So this is gonna be a little bit complicated because there are a lot of parts on MechaGodzilla, and then we also have to shade it in accordingly. So let's erase his head a little bit more because you can still see some unnecessary lines that are not supposed to be there. Okay, so let's go over these lines first. And then there's like a extra sort of extension right there. And on top of his head he also has a extra part right there, which is dark at this point. And over here there is a attachment point for the jaw, but I'm just gonna draw it differently. So how I'm gonna draw it is I'm gonna draw the shadow, the actual bolts right here, like this, and then I'll just draw the inside like that. Okay, so now we can also draw the two teeth on the top jaw, and we should be able to see the other one as well on the other side, but we can't because of the atomic breath. Then he has two sort of blocks coming further out like that, and they are attached to his eye circuit or something. And just draw a circle right there, and that's gonna be his eye. Alright, so now for his lower jaw, over here there's also same principle, because there's something like a bolt attaching to it, and then on the inside of his jaw he has like a whole hydraulic system going on. You can also see, and he has 3 more teeth coming out, but 2 on the front side and 1 more all the way at the front. Then he has also a extra area right there, but these teeth go all the way on to his chin, I guess, like that. So now we want to draw in the plates that he has on his neck, like that, and these ones over here. And we can also draw in some plates like that. There are sort of going outwards. Maybe to lose heat or something. I am not really sure why. Alright, and now we want to have his shoulder drawn in. Something like that. And then we just continue on drawing those plates, the panels. Something like that. And then on his arm, he has, let's see, he has a couple of things like that going on. I'm not really sure what they are, but there's also like a separation. So we have 3 sections. We have one over here, and then one over here. Something like that. And these ones come out a little. They just wrap around the corner and attach to the other part of his arm. And then this part is actually a little bit lower than where those things actually end. There's supposed to be a little bit of space between the elbow. Alright, something like that. And then we can start with doing the chest. And I am not really sure how to draw the chest because I haven't looked up reference photos for it yet. So I'm just gonna do it from memory. So, yeah. So over here, he has a couple of things like this. And then something like that looks like. And then these extend a little bit further out. And then we have some plates that sort of look like they go like this. And I guess that's the best that I could do for now, for this part at least. But that's it's, I mean, like, it is not extremely accurate, but it is sort of accurate in a way because it looks accurate. Let's draw in the plates on his back as well. I'm just gonna change the shape of those plates just a tiny little bit to make it look just a little bit better. And actually there's supposed to be another building right here that makes sure that you cannot see further than a certain point. And over here we just draw the same shape for what we did for everything, for the whole back of MechaGodzilla. And I think this is gonna be a very long video, to be honest. But I guess for some people it's worth it, because a lot of people have been waiting for this video to happen for quite a long time. And they might be thinking, wow, yeah, it's finally happening. So yeah. Right, so there's a very dark line right here. And then over here there is this finger coming out. And he also has those parts like divided in certain plates, I guess. So let's get this arm in as well. And this arm has a separation right there. We can see the sort of a bolt coming out. Let's get this line a little bit higher up. Or you know what, we could just leave it like this because it is accurate. Something like that should do. Alright, so now we are at the underside of one of his arms. And then we have a lot of texturing on top of those, like on top of this area, which I'm not really sure of how to texture it correctly. So I'm just scribbling my own my own thing. So yeah, now it's time to get in his leg right here. There are a lot of panels going out, and I sort of messed it up by going over this line too many times. So yeah, there are a lot of panels coming out and doing their own thing. And over here would be his knee. And let's see. So yeah, there are a couple of lines that go straight down like this. It sort of looks like it is shadowed in quite a bit. So yeah, we just have to do the other row of spines again. I'm just getting them in bigger, tiny little bit bigger. To make it stand out a little bit better, make it look a little bit better. Alright, something like that looks just fine. Alright, so now we can do the shadowing for MechaGodzilla, which is basically the same as with Godzilla, but we can't forget about the fact that MechaGodzilla has a lot of iron, like a shiny surfaces on his body. So if we are gonna do this, we need to give it sort of an irony texture. So we want to have a highlight basically all the way in this area, but we don't want to we still need to have some I can't get in the words, I can't speak. Well, we have to have a highlight over here and a lot of shadow over there, but we cannot lose the detail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna be drawing a couple of like strangely shaped shadows over here to still make it look shiny and stuff. But I can make the second row, the middle row of the spines dark. I can just darken them in completely because I won't lose any detail. So something like that. But on this row I still wanna have a little bit of detail, so I wanna get the effect of it being very shiny with this as well. Just trying to make it look shinier than what it would normally be. And then over here, this can be darkened completely. And everything here as well. The top of his head is sort of also darkened quite a bit, just like with Godzilla, but there's just a tiny little bit more shine to it. And the lower jaw as well. Just the bottom part is very dark, but there's a little bit more shine to it. And I will also, by the way, darken these lines a little bit more. Because otherwise you won't be able to see them clearly. Alright, that looks a little bit better. But it's because of my light source that Godzilla looks a little bit darker than MechaGodzilla. Alright, so there's gonna be a lot of shadow over here. It's very hard to do this and not lose detail, because it's just like the limbs and everything, they are overlapping each other. You still need to be able to keep your detail. So it's very, very hard to do that. So this part can be darkened in a little bit more. Because it is so dark, when shiny surfaces go dark, they tend to reflect light a lot better. So that's actually something that you should pay attention to, but the fact is that I don't know how to draw reflections yet. So yeah, it's a bummer, I would say. And this is completely darkened. Alright. There's a lot of shine on that. And here as well, just darken it, but not completely, just leave a little bit. There's supposed to be a little bit of shadow right there, because it's a shiny a shiny surface. It sort of looks a little bit different. this lag as well. Trying to do my best and get the shiny effect, but yeah. Turns out I can't do it properly. Alright. It's starting to come together quite well. Alright, so now we still have to put in the beam of MechaGodzilla. The way that we do that is MechaGodzilla has a very concentrated beam with a lot of same thing as Godzilla has, like those just a couple of things coming out. Something like that should be fine. And over here there's a lot of stuff happening as well. Beam of MechaGodzilla is a little bit more red, more of a reddish color. Alright. So we are basically done with most of the drawing. The only thing that I still need to do is I need to darken the what are they called? The buildings, and then I'll have to add a little bit of color to the beam, to Godzilla and MechaGodzilla. But then the drawing will be finished. So the rest of the drawing will be in time lapse. So yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment below what you think about the video and the drawing in general, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss a single video. So enjoy the rest of the video and goodbye.